producer and co-host, Kevin Eveling.
Hey, Libby, how you doing?
Oh, I said your last name. That was weird. Kevin E.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I didn't even notice.
Welcome, and we have in the studio today a very good friend of mine, talented director, Justin Malone.
Hello, how are you?
Great, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for
Love
having
having you
me.
here. So we have Justin here today to tell us about his film documentary, Undocumented. And we did a screening last night at Highland Park Village for a big group, almost 200 people came. And this film is so interesting. Justin directed it and edited it, put it together about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's about the illegal alien, or I guess the immigrant issue. But what's so weird about it is it's so relevant now. And when we became friends, he told me about it, and I was like, people got to see this. It's more relevant now than it was then.
I think so. Yeah. I hadn't looked at it in a time, and I was a little, it was always hard for a couple of people getting behind it. It seems like it's going to do something now. I mean, I'm getting all kinds of reactions across the country right now. So
what I love about it is it's such an unbiased look at it. It shows both sides.
Yeah.
Don't you agree? I mean, but so when you were, I didn't ask you this last.
You definitely forget though, just because you guys were talking about how it's a 10-year-old movie. You forget after like 5 minutes that it's even a 10-year-old, that it's an older movie.
It feels like it was a few months ago.
Yeah, you completely forget after a couple minutes.
But I was going to ask you this last night. When you went into making this film about the immigrants, did you have a way you thought you wanted to go, like a conservative slant or a liberal slant, or you were just?
Yeah, I think when I was 23, 24 when I started it, I definitely had opinions, that was different than people in my age. I think I've always been politically different than, people.
Yes. Especially somebody in the art world.
Definitely. So I had my ideas, but I wanted to make a true documentary. I kind of wasn't a big fan of what Michael Moore was doing, calling it documentaries. I always thought he should have said what he had a narrative, and I look back at the old classic documentaries and the old, just the way journalism used to be done. So I wanted to get both opinions, or all opinions, They say both sides, but I feel like it's multiple sides. I mean, It is such a complex issue.
And there's really no easy answer.
No, well, not where we are now.
Exactly, but it makes people I got a lot of texts from friends today just saying it made me think, and it made me start thinking, what can we do, or how can we help, or it's just thought provoking.
That's
opens up the narrative to get people talking, but it's done in such a kind way too, and so sweet. You saw all sides.
Yeah.
So, but let's talk real quick though. We'll go back to the film. Kev, I said this last night. Justin and I met on a film set, and we bonded over our love of film and food, and that's how Kevin and I bonded.
I was saying that same thing.
Our love of film, and I think we all three have this in common. Our favorite film. Let's talk about real briefly our favorite films.
Oof, that's tough.
Because I bet it's going to be the same with all of us right here. Okay, just 2 or 3.
I love Punch Drunk Love a lot.
Yeah.
Raging Bull.
Yes.
Cool Hand Luke. I could go on forever.
Okay, but like Shawshank Redemption.
Absolutely. Well, that goes without
The Shining,
saying.
Godfather, all those.
The Godfather. Yes, there's so many. I kind of put those to the side because it goes without saying. I try to put in some cooler titles, but yeah.
Yeah.
I would say if I had one movie of all time, it would be The Godfather Part 1.
Exactly. Definitely. Well, so when we were talking, another reason why Justin's film got out there is when we first met, you had showed me some of your other films, and I just thought you were so talented. Why didn't you show me this film when we first met?
Because there wasn't any, it was kind of an emotional thing for me.
Because you had put it on the back burner.
Yeah, I just put it up.
Yeah.
I put it up because, I didn't have any control over it, and I thought that I worked on the movie for 3 years, and I was in the editing room for 10 months, and the whole time I thought I was making something great, and I knew that I was discovering things that hadn't been discovered, I was younger, so maybe my ego was there. Like I thought that, you know, I had made this eye-opening, great documentary, and when we screened it, it went well. Like you know, I think I did 3 or 4 screenings. It was sold out, but at that time, from what I was told, is that distributors didn't like the unbiased nature of it or the multiple sides of it. They wanted more
an opinion.
They needed an audience. Like, well, you know. And I think that's kind of the problem, right? Like,
well, yeah, I think that's something that separates it completely from, like you mentioned, a Michael Moore type outing where it is much more one-sided, and it's almost veiled as being unbiased. But obviously, there's an agenda there where I don't think that's present in your film.
Well, it's really shocking because I think everybody that watches it, even myself. Like, I feel there is a bias to it because I have my feelings. But someone else that's watching it, it's very strange to me because there's parts that upset me while I'm watching it that might not upset somebody.
Right.
It depends on what your thoughts are. And so when someone's saying something that to me is like completely wrong, and I'm showing that, someone might be like, yes, I totally agree with them. And in the scenes that I agree with, they don't. So I think that's very interesting, and what I really enjoyed about last night was that we were all kind of in that theater and we were kind of forced to talk about it, and I think that's what we're missing. And I didn't know if it was going to be hostile, or I mean, I knew this one probably wasn't, but
yeah,
there could be screenings. I mean, maybe if we did something at Berkeley or something, like it would get, but.
It makes for a more captivating Q&A. I mean,
yeah,
that's for sure.
But it opens up dialogue. Like I said last night, there are things that could be done to help the people on the other side of the border, like that system they have in El Paso where they're letting kids cross the border each day and come into school in the U.S. and go back. People see this and they're like, it can bring attention to things like that.
Yeah.
Some people, I just found out about that they do that. Did you even know they do that?
No. I mean,
but how cool is that? So they can come over to the U.S., get their education, go back into Mexico, and help Mexico be a better place where people will stay.
Absolutely.
But there are things like that that our country could be doing to help people want to stay, and the Mexicans stay in their country.
Yeah.
They're all wanting to leave because it's, you know, there are no jobs, but maybe they could go over there and start jobs.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It opens up a great dialogue. I think it's just a great film, and we have a clip, but it's like 5 minutes. Do you want to show the whole clip, or?
I mean, if you guys want, we can go ahead and run it, and then if you want to cut it off at some point, we can do that.
I think it's good. Maybe
it's not really a clip; it's a trailer.
It's an extended trailer.
Yes. Let's
play that extended trailer.
Yes.
You ever know some of the immigration laws in Mexico? Anybody know that? All right. How come they won't have bilingual in their schools? Why can't you protest out there, wave a flag of another country and go against the government? How about if you're an illegal felon going in their country, they'll hunt you down, put you in jail. You won't be a burden over there. No welfare, no food stamps, no health care. Hello? Everybody listening?
We are under a stampede of people going north.
Porque la gente va a seguir viniendo. Mientras haya trabajo, la gente va a seguir viniendo. Eso no lo van a parar, aunque le pongan 5 muros a la frontera. No lo van a parar.
I have rights. You're political corruption.
I'm known throughout the Hispanic world, and I'm very much hated.
Think how hard those employers are going to fight to defend the youth.
To stand up against their Mexico nation and make it for the better for the people, then they can all go back to Mexico and make their country better instead of making my country worse.
Can we speak English? Hello? Okay, we're gonna put our order in English, okay?
People ask me, so why did you decide to make a movie on illegal immigration?
You guys are, I take it, going around the country.
We're going to 24 major U.S. cities. I saw my neighborhood, which is in Dallas, Texas, transforming before my eyes.
You already had a Hispanic.
Yes, but it was different.
It's a city in transition, like many other cities in the country.
There's a lot of illegal immigrants who come into the hospital.
Undocumented. Get with it.
I mean, it sounds silly, but I went into my bank one day and there weren't any deposit slips in English.
You need to wake up. We are losing our country.
Have babies. Free.
Nomás que nos quiten todos los beneficios del gobierno y con eso nos vamos a nuestra tierra.
This was all once Mexico, man.
Too many people are coming over. They're not doing the right thing. They're not learning the language.
They're growing your food. They are cleaning your toilets. They are cleaning your houses. There are terrorist databases that are supposed to be checked.
See, it's not just the border that's porous. It's the entire immigration system.
In my office, 96% of the background checks had not been done.
You know, I think we do have a right to protect ourselves, but I feel a lot of the people who are coming are not criminals. They're coming because they need help or they're trying to live.
Once Alejandra came on, I was able to talk to the other side.
Right.
I was able to get in with families. And that's when it all changed for me. That's when I started seeing the human element and like really getting conflicted within myself.
Nosotros tenemos que trabajar solamente, no venimos a ofender a nadie.
Es una humillación
para el mexicano que esté esta malla. Todos venimos de donde mismo, somos hijos de Dios.
Siempre como peones, lo que es un peón.
Nosotros no nos dan lo que es un mapa, lo que es nada de eso.
Somos una plaga para este país.
These Mexicans are looking for a better life, and we're bitching.
Me canso, soy un ser humano, siento y sufro.
This is naked exploitation. It's quasi-slavery.
We can't bring the world here. We need to make the world a better place throughout the world for all people, and that's what I think would work.
I thought that, you know, I could make this quick little film about it, and it turns out it reaches into pretty much every facet of life.
If someone's giving IDs to illegal immigrants, isn't that the people's job to check your identity birth before you give your license numbers?
They spend so much time teaching kids that don't speak English and working with those kids that my kids are suffering.
The story of what, you know, these young kids who went across America discovered, you know. There's no media bias, there's no corporate payoffs. We're all under the age of 25 on this mission to figure out what the hell's going on in America.
This issue is the Trojan horse, and it's been coming for decades, and people have been asleep.
People are gonna get something out of this movie. It's not even my movie, you know.
Right.
This is Americans' movie.
I love that right there at the end where the people walk out of the flag. Did you come up with that?
I wish I could take credit for that.
That was cool.
Jose Suaste, a very good friend of mine, when I started working on the film, he was building a pitch material so I could raise money for it. So, you know, I had already started shooting it, and I had made a preliminary trailer out of footage that I had rented from Premiere Video on Mark.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And which was an awesome place. But and then he drew it on a piece of paper in front of me. He's like, I have an idea, and he drew it with
Really
stick
cool.
figures. And then once we the movie got funded, we were able to shoot it.
Yeah.
The idea.
That was neat.
Yeah.
Really neat. In the film you talk about this, but what, you know, really inspired you to even do this? You tell about it in the film, but maybe tell the listeners now.
Well, I mean,
because you were 25 years old.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I wanted to make a movie, you know, and I had the means to make a documentary, meaning I had the equipment, but this issue was, you know, kind of bothering me, and then one day I just kind of put them together. I'm like, well, I should make a documentary about this, and so I just started filming it, but the neighborhood I grew up in, like it had just completely changed, you know.
Become Hispanic.
Yeah.
In Farmers Branch.
No, it was in East Dallas.
East Dallas.
I started in Farmers Branch filming as far as like because right whenever I was looking for topics, when I started going on it, that was like that happened. Their big national push to kind of do put some laws out that were going to prevent illegal immigration affecting their community.
Okay. Well, the film also had some laughs.
Yeah.
I thought that surprised me. Did it surprise you?
Well, no. I mean,
they were mostly with your the girls that you had working for you. I felt like is when we got the laughs.
Yeah. Well, there were some funny moments. I mean, Probably, I mean, like when you have the KKK in there and they say something ridiculous,
yes.
like, you know, and I kind of wanted to put some humor in that, and then I did it again on the other side when the radical guy was comparing today to the civil rights movement. I thought that was laughable.
Yes. Yeah, those KKK, they sounded ridiculous.
Yeah.
Explain to me again what Minutemen are. You talk about that in the film.
Well, Minutemen, it's like a volunteer. You know, it goes back to the founding of the country. You know, I mean, historically they were the guys that they were citizens, farmers, or what have you, and then they would form a militia and fight off enemies. You know.
Yes.
That's about exactly what I was going to compare it to. I was like, it seems like it was almost a border patrol militia.
That's what they are, and
Right.
so basically there's different groups. You had the California Minutemen, you had the Texas Minutemen. They are volunteers that get together and they find spots at the border where drug cartels or people are coming in, and they set up equipment and they monitor the border all night, and then they radio in Border Patrol if they see something.
Is that still going on?
I assume so. I haven't touched base with them. At the time that we made the movie, they were being compared to the KKK. They were considered racist, you know. And so it's funny because there's a lot of extremely liberal people on the film crew. And every time we would go to interview a Minuteman, they had kind of been affected by that media coverage. And they'd invite us into their home and we would have a great interview, and then we'd leave, and in the car they'd be like, well, they were nice, you know, like.
Were they more or less reluctant, or were they enthused kind of to tell their side of things?
Oh, they were more than happy, you know, because they weren't. There's a part in there, Jim Gilchrist in the film, where he talks about, and I had a great interview with him, but the part that I ended up using was his bit about freedom of speech, because he had been attacked because the media had portrayed him as this racist vigilante.
Yes.
And so when he would go and speak, then, you know, these guys would riot, and, you know, which is, you know, that was 10 years ago, and you fast forward now and that's happening all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like the universities, like protesting speakers. So when I rewatched it, that was the part to me that was like, wow, like we're really, you know, the film was kind of ahead of that, you know, showing that, you know.
It's prophetic, your film, kind of like, it's kind of crazy.
Well, it's very, very interesting because I am learning from it now. Like I'm seeing there's so many subtleties that I didn't even pick up on, and I'm connecting dots that I didn't connect whenever I first finished it. So
I know. It just is amazing that as a young 25-year-old guy that you did this film. It's pretty amazing, pretty impressive. Just think how much smarter you are even now, 10 years later.
Yeah,
you can really
hopefully
make an amazing film now.
After making this, I mean, is that kind of where you've sort of focused your passion now is documentary, or you still want to explore other areas of filmmaking?
No, I mean, I want to do narrative film as well.
He's got a script.
I do. I have stuff to do. I think I started with a documentary because, you know, I had the type of camera you could use to make one. You didn't have to have actors. You didn't have to have lights. You didn't have to have, you know, a ton of money. You could just go out and, you know, shoot natural light. And you know, so I started in that, and I enjoy documentaries. I kind of tried to get away from it for a little while because I also like to write scripts and work with actors and I like that. But right now I'm kind of feeling the documentary thing, you know.
I like it.
And
well, what do you hope for this film's future?
Well, it'd be great if people could see it.
I know.
You know?
So how are they going to see it, do you think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think we're just going to keep, you know, we're getting a lot of traction on social media. I would ask everyone follow our Instagram page at Undocumented Film.
Undocumented Film on Instagram, not on Facebook yet, or Twitter?
Not yet. I mean, I think Instagram's kind of what's going on right now.
I do too.
And it's a really nice format for it. What was crazy is like this is this is before social media. It was before you know, and so you know, breaking the film apart into clips, it really works on social media. So my hope would be that people would be able to see it, because I really do think that I mean, my intentions were to do something that would help the country, because you know, I live here and my family. I mean, I love our country. Country.
Well, I know, because people are going to see this interview and they're going to want to be able to see it, and I hope I know it's going to have legs. I think it's going to go forward, and I think a lot of people are going to see it. In making the film, did you have to cut a lot out?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I mean, it took a long time. I mean, I think I had assembled just shy of 6 hours of scenes.
And you cut it down to about an hour and 40 minutes, or no?
Well,
50?
It just took a long. I mean, it took a long time because I had you know 3 assistant editors, and then I would just over time they would give me these broad scenes. I would take what I like, but then the first time we screened it at SMU, it was a little over 2 hours long. I think it was like 2 hours 14. It was just too long. Yeah. But I loved everything in it, and then I had to. So it was pretty painful to get it down to. It's at 96 minutes now.
Yes, I thought it was a perfect time.
There's a lot of stuff that hit the floor, and a lot of good stuff. I mean, there's so much footage that didn't ever even get into the editing room because it would have taken me 4 years.
Oh
like, I had, you know, I had interviews with ACLU and Amnesty International, and I went to every borough of New York and covered like Polish.
I loved all the people that you interviewed. They were each person was kind of a character. You know, real life characters. That woman, like in her kitchen. Yeah, I really liked her.
I liked her too.
Yeah,
she was probably. I will say she's probably my favorite.
Intelligent.
Yeah. Her scene. So we got it there. We turned the cameras on. You can actually. It drives me crazy as a filmmaker, but you can see her mic.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I've seen the movie 3 times.
But the reason why, you know, you can see, because she literally started talking, and we had to clip the mic on her.
Because she was so good.
And and we had 2 cameras rolling on her, and like she had an hour or plus of good sound bites. Like she was on fire. But I chose the voting story because at that time,
it's true.
It was shocking.
Yes.
Which now
we know it happens
in San Francisco. They're openly doing it. It's not. It's not even shocking anymore that
it happens.
Non-citizens are voting in our elections, which is
just crazy.
Commonplace, almost.
Commonplace, yes. Well, I just think it's great. I hope everybody will see it. And can you say what you've got going on next, or no, you don't want to?
Well, no, I want to kind of keep it on the low. I think it's going to be a little bit more controversial than this one.
Ooh.
So
yeah.
But I am underway, so.
Well, I met Justin doing commercials, but he really is. He's made a filmmaker, he's an award-winning filmmaker. We did a little a short film, Bus Stop, together. That won some awards, didn't it?
Did really well. Went all around the world and did really well for us. So
I think that you could sell that too. You know, they're starting to show all these little short films on airplanes and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. My uncle asked me to. He said you should open your screening with the Bus Stop before the Undocumented as like a little, and I was like.
That's a pretty good idea.
You know what's good about Bus Stop too? It's another take on a topic, religion.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
Yeah.
So it's good, but the plan is Justin and I are going to make a movie together, and we're going to win an Academy Award, and we're going to get up on stage together as him as director and me as producer. But there it is. Yeah, there you go. See him holding it. There you go. Hold it up. Okay, wait. Let's give it.
That's going to be after we win an Emmy for our.
Show.
Is this an Emmy or?
No, that's an Oscar.
That's an
let's
Oscar.
put up on the green screen his. Let's give his show pop. Let's see which way should I go. This way, popcorn worthy. Isn't that music awesome?
Yeah.
Pretty cute. Okay, stay here for a minute and talk with it. But okay, best of luck, Justin. I'm so glad we're friends. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm glad I know you.
Yeah.
And I just wish you the very best with this film.
Thank you.
Going forward, it'll be great.
Awesome.
Talk what you haven't seen, but we've seen the Meg and the BlackKlansman. Speaking of controversial, you know.
Yeah.
I've actually not seen the latest Spike Lee joint yet, but I did see the Meg.
I don't think we need to. Do you want to show a clip?
For which one? We can do. We have quick 30-second clips if you want to roll one.
Okay, let's do the BlackKlansman.
You got it.
investigation. We'll establish contact over the phone. We'll need a white officer to play me when they meet face to face. So there becomes a combined Ron Stallworth.
Ready?
Born ready.
BlackKlansman.
I'm not ready.
Okay, I loved this movie. Like, Justin, when I told you about it, you're like, I don't know if I want to see it, I think. Didn't you say that?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was going to be, it's so good. I mean, Spike Lee, it reminded me a little bit of Tarantino, and you told me Tarantino and Lee don't like each other.
No, I don't think that they get along very well.
That doesn't surprise me.
It has
at all.
that kind of look, which I'm a huge Tarantino fan, but it's a true story of this black guy who joins the African-American, and who played by Denzel Washington's son, who's so good. He sounds just like him. But he enters the police force in Colorado Springs, and then he uses his voice to get in the Ku Klux Klan, and then Adam Driver plays him and goes in and actually joins the Ku
Right, he's basically the voice
The
of
voice.
the white, yes, and then Adam Driver is the face to it, and then...
It's the craziest story. You cannot even make up how crazy it is, and it's
Yeah.
all true. But it's very clever. It's very funny. It doesn't seem real political. At the end, though, they do this total anti-Trump thing that just kind of
How did they work that in?
Everyone has to squeeze
well,
that
you're
in
all
somewhere.
of a sudden just go. It doesn't even make any sense. That's what's so.
I mean, doesn't the film take place like in the 70s?
Yes, but they start about Virginia and David Duke and all of a sudden you're just like confused.
Without any spoiler alerts, like
Yeah.
how did they work that in? Like,
I can't. It does. I don't even know.
did they say the name Donald Trump?
Oh yeah.
In the dialogue?
And show him, and it makes. I want you just to go see it because you'll just be like, this makes absolutely no sense. Otherwise, I loved it, and I give it popcorn worthy. We don't
Yeah.
even have to do a deal, but the end is just be prepared. It's weird. I just.
I'll put it
didn't-
up there in the background. Just.
It didn't even what. There we
There you
go. I give it popcorn worthy, even though I didn't like the ending.
See, I'm not a big Spike Lee fan, and this is one that as
No,
soon as I
it's-
saw the trailer, I'm like, this looks really good. I wanted to see it. Right, I've never been so intrigued by a Spike Lee trailer before.
Well, what
until this
someone
one.
said about it, it's horrifying and hilarious at the same time, which is a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And it is film.
Jungle Fever is one of
Jungle
my
Fever.
one that I really like. I don't know, it's not his first,
Oh, I'm
but
gonna have to look up White Men Can't Jump because you may be right, but
It's a great film. He got game. Well, I can
well,
people. I guess what I was trying to get at with art with that you can enjoy art from people that you disagree with.
and why can't other people do that? A lot of
Yeah.
people can't. Like I am so upset with Robert De Niro right now, his behavior.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna go see his movies.
Yeah, you're not gonna. Like,
I'm just coming from the same place. I'm
Taxi
like,
Driver doesn't suck now because Robert
Exactly.
De Niro is a
or Meryl
fool.
Streep or any of these people. I still admire them and love their acting, and yeah.
I
so
never watched their movies because I was interested in what their beliefs are, whatever. It's like
I just don't get it.
I watch their movies to be entertained, and that's what's important to me, anyway.
So,
But
yes.
I find that people from the left can do that. They won't like somebody's art just because of where they stand.
Well, you had an example that some of your friends didn't want to even come to your screening because they thought it was.
Just because based off the trailer, they're like they didn't want to see it. So that.
And that's rude.
Yeah, and they were very. It was very easy for them to say that to me. So.
That's strange.
It
But
is.
the left think that way. Well, I don't ever like to get political.
Well, no, but there is a difference,
There is.
like because I don't think. I mean, if conservatives did that we couldn't watch anything because I mean you're gonna say that most of the entertainment world is liberals, you
Right.
know.
Well, like all Michael Moore's movies, I've been to all of them. Al
Yeah.
Gore's silly movies. I find them interesting.
They're entertaining. It's good filmmaking, whether you agree with it or not. But
Well, yeah,
even
I mean,
if it's one-sided or whatever.
I don't see why you have to agree with. Like, isn't that why you watch things? It's like that's the whole point. Is like we've put ourselves in like.
Right.
It's almost like people are afraid to watch things that they're afraid of. Changing their mind or like broadening. It's crazy, But I always love that about you, that you'll
Yeah.
see everything.
Everything.
You know.
You know what people are? We were talking. We didn't about media last night in Half Truths. I think a problem with the younger kids is like my son doesn't have cable. He just has Roku or whatever. They stream to the TV what they want to see, so they aren't seeing Fox and CNBC and they're only seeing what they want to see or hearing what they want to hear now with social media and streaming. And whereas we used to turn on the TV and you'd have to watch everything.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of bad. I think the best way to get your news now is to watch the BBC because they're going to just be neutral.
Well, I try to watch everything, and you know,
but
I try to like trick my social media. Like I click on articles from everyone. I want to know what people are thinking.
But you're unusual for a young man. Most people aren't, the young people.
I don't understand like what they're afraid of, you know? Like people are afraid of learning. Like I don't know why like don't you want to like
I know.
Don't you want to know, even if you disagree with someone, don't you want to know what they're thinking? You know, if you consider someone your enemy, like, don't you want to know what your enemy's thinking or your...
Exactly. I like all
Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, you know? But I do admire that because we went to Sundance, you know, together, and you would see everything, you know?
Oh, my God, I sent Justin to a really weird movie, too.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, that's what I love. I love art. I love weird movies. I just like to expand my mind and learn, and I leave, I feel smarter.
Yeah, I remember when I was young, I had just discovered Annie Hall, you know, and I asked my grandma, I was like, you know, I just watched Annie Hall, and she just like, she hated Woody Allen.
Yeah.
And then I later would find out why, and for good reason. I could see that, but it's like, but that doesn't mean like
that he's not a genius.
That Manhattan's not amazing, you know.
Everything
Roman
he does.
Polanski.
Same with Roman
like,
Polanski, yeah. So
goodness gracious, you know, like how can you watch The Pianist and deny that, you know?
I mean,
Rosemary's
genius.
Baby is like...
I've watched that so many times. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's true. So yeah, we all just...
Artists are weird.
Yeah, I like that. I like really weird movies. Something is...
Yeah, I don't think anybody in their right mind would even make a movie, you know? It's like, it's pretty
I like your
difficult.
style, Justin's style of filmmaking too. I mean, last night, your documentary, you didn't do it so much, but your other films, I've said they have that kind of Wes Anderson feel, maybe. A little bit, kind of.
Maybe they have
but you
some
have your
style.
own thing.
Well, yeah, that's cool. But I mean, I think when you say Wes Anderson, like he has a style, you know?
Yeah.
You know,
He has a definite style, but you, I mean, you go all...
As you know, I think as I get to make bigger films, you know, like I haven't got to make a big expensive film yet, so...
We'll see what kind of style it'll be. It'll be Justin Malone style.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so, yeah.
Okay, another film real quick and then we'll let you go. Have you seen The Meg?
No. Is this the one about the shark?
Yes.
Yes,
the
it is.
Megalodon shark.
We got a clip.
Want to show a clip of that?
Hold on one second. Yeah,
So-
let me make
So,
sure.
did
Yeah,
you
we
watch
got a clip.
it?
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay, let's watch the clip.
I see everything.
She's coming. Oh boy.
It was the largest shark that ever existed.
Thought to have been extinct for 2 million years.
That thing's out there. We need to find it and kill it.
Why don't you just put a tracker on it? Did you guys ever watch Shark Week?
The Meg in cinemas August 10.
Well, Kevin saw it before I did, and you texted me the funniest thing. Kevin goes, they should call it the meh.
Yeah,
MEA.
that's exactly how I felt. I'm like, meh. But I mean, basically, for anyone who ever, the clip says it all, plot-wise. I don't think there's any explanation needed. But if you ever watch those sci-fi originals like Mega Shark versus Gatoroid or something like that, this is a big-budget version of that with Jason Statham.
Yes,
it's exactly what it is. I mean, it's no more sophisticated, no less cheesy, and not profound. It's just total popcorn fluff.
Jason Statham, I love him though.
I do too, and he's actually really good. He does a great job in the film.
He's great, but what do you? I mean, I was kind of entertained, but the plot, it's just the whole thing's kind of dumb. What would you give it?
A lot of cheese, a lot of CG, but it's overall reasonably entertaining. It's not going to break any ground, but it'll probably spawn some sequels. But it's all right. It's okay.
What would you give it?
I'm still going to say popcorn worthy because you can't expect too much from a movie about a megalodon.
I call it mildly popcorn worthy.
Yeah, I mean, me too. Me too.
Butter-free popcorn.
Yes.
Yes, popcorn with a butter substitute.
I don't think you'd like it. Maybe your kids would probably like it.
No, based off the trailer, I would never go see something like that in the theater.
Well,
if you like movies like Shark Night 3D or Deep Blue Sea, then yeah, it's going to be okay. But
I am not a fan, and being a movie person, I'm not a fan of the traditional blockbuster film.
Yeah.
I like art house weird movies.
Well, I think like if you look at Jaws, which is obviously in that genre,
It's trying to be
in my
a
top 3
Jaws.
favorite movies
Yeah.
of all time.
But what people didn't understand is like, because Spielberg in a way invented the blockbuster, but you
did.
go back and look at Jaws, it had moments in that, just the way like it was just he was able to have human moments, like
Human. Yes.
and that's what
we want.
Yes,
Yeah,
people say the Meg is like Jaws on steroids. I'm like, Jaws was a shark on steroids already.
Yeah.
And it was still somewhat believable and like interesting. It was so believable that people ended up hunting sharks after the film came out. Because
And we loved the characters in it.
The characters are
scary
fantastic.
because Spielberg can make you care about everyone on the screen, and he can make it. And
But,
so, you know, looking back, I could tell that probably doesn't have those elements.
You did. I did
None
like
at
the
all.
character between Jason and the Asian girl. If they
her
developed
acting
that,
though was.
I know, but if they developed that and the child more, it had potential. But otherwise, nope.
Yeah.
I'm mildly popcorn worthy.
I thought Ruby Rose was actually was a decent character.
Which
in that.
character was that?
She's the girl with the short hair who's the techie one.
She's from Orange is the New Black.
Yes, exactly. Very stereotypical character, but she did a good job.
Yeah, she did a great job. But that is this week's show. And real quick, tonight I'm going. This is another thing that is so hilarious. So I went to the Dallas Film Festival, and my favorite film, Jonathan Brownlee, who's president of the Dallas International Film Festival, got such a kick out of this. And Dallas Saunier, who owns Sin State here in Dallas, his company Fangoria in Sin State did this movie Puppet Master. It's at the Texas Theater where Lee Harvey Oswald was picked up. It's playing tonight. I'm going at 9:30. I've seen it already.
And you've already seen it.
It's so ridiculously hilarious. Have you ever seen any of those Puppet Master movies? Do you like horror films?
Yeah.
Well, Kevin and I like really goofy horror films.
Love it.
Literally, y'all, this movie, I'm going again with my son because I found it, but Jonathan thought it was so funny. Here I am, like with my pearls on, in the theater, just laughing louder than anybody. He goes, Libby Hunt, that was so hilarious to see you over there enjoying it. Because he's like, what were your 2 favorite films at the film festival? And I'm like, Puppet Master was right up there at the top. So it's really corny. They think of every possible way.
Wait, when was it made?
Last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is a reboot.
Oh, cool.
Fangoria bought it and they're rebooting it, and it's so the puppets kill people, and they're Nazi puppets this time. And at one point, one of the puppets chops off this guy's head and it falls in a toilet. It's
Perfect.
Hilarious.
Perfect.
If you like that kind of gore. And it has a lot of Dallas actor friends of mine. It has Ann Byer in it.
Oh, cool.
You know who you know.
Oh, yeah.
She plays the
Love Ann.
she plays the German person staying in the hotel. And Skeeta Jenkins plays Cuddly Bear.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, it's so funny. So y'all
I'll have to see if there's tickets available.
there are tonight. It's tonight at 9:30, tomorrow night at 10:30, and then next Wednesday. It's like a limited
The
release.
Texas Theater's huge, right? I mean,
Pretty big, yeah.
It's like 600 seats.
I just went on. It is. I just went online and I looked up which seat is Lee Harvey's, and now on the website it said Lee Harvey. He sat in this seat, but remember, it's not his seat because he didn't buy a ticket. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
So I don't know, little Texas history.
Yeah.
But that's the scoop. We thank Justin Malone for being here and telling us about his fabulous film Undocumented that will be in wide release, I'm sure, someday, somewhere. And we're very happy to have you. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, Libby.
And now y'all go enjoy the movies.